Something died in me. I want more emotion in my life. The only thing I want to do is to leave Bayern. I didn't expect these spicy quotes out of Robert Lewandowski. So what has gone wrong between the Polish striker and the Bavarian club? What's up, everyone? I'm Adrian and welcome to Rabona TV. Today, we're diving into the world of Bayern once again. Funny that this happened a few weeks after I made this video about how they have some problems on the horizon. Didn't expect this though. And once again, to help me with this will be Manuel Witt of Transfermarkt, who also writes about Bayern quite regularly for Forbes. He's from Munich after all. And of course, is part of the Unsackable podcast with yours truly. Give us a follow sometime, won't you? Oh, and look, here's a photo of Manuel speaking to Robert Lewandowski himself. Fantastic stuff, as Manuel has a wealth of knowledge on Lewandowski and can give historical context to some of the decisions being made at Bayern and their changing approach to business behind the scenes. I know, you're waiting with bated breath, but before we get to the video, we gotta thank the people who helped make this video possible, Surfshark. Speaking of history and context, I'm sure a lot of you would have to provide a lot of context to your search history. Yes, I'm looking at you in particular. But your search history is never in peril thanks to Surfshark VPN. Not only do they ensure that your internet activity and history is kept private, but they look to protect your your privacy while on the web and ensure nobody has A, access to any of your information, and B, can't do anything scary with said info. We're talking banking info, personal details, you know, the important stuff. If you travel often, or if you like to go and get your work done in public spaces like I sometimes do when I'm not being a complete introvert, you know the free internet is a blessing. It is the backbone of any great nation. But connecting to these public Wi-Fis will leave you exposed to anyone who wants to lift your data. All of that online shopping you've been doing, all of those random websites you've given your credit card info to, sent sensitive documents to, or sensitive JPEGs. Well, that's at risk of being lifted by anyone with the know-how to do so, so protect yourself with Surfshark VPN. It works like a mask for what you're doing online, enabling you to have private browsing and buying, and Surfshark VPN never keeps logs of your internet activity with their no logs policy. And on top of this, if you're trying to chill, watch some shows that are either on a streaming platform that isn't available in your country or the media library is very different in another country, then Surfshark can help you out big time. Turn on Surfshark VPN so you can access content libraries on Netflix and plenty of other streaming sites from around the world. And guys, Surfshark VPN is packed with tons of features, such as 3,200 servers in 95 countries. That's 40 more countries than UEFA can boast in their association. So take that. Chef it in. It also has military-grade encryption, a multi-hop feature meaning you can connect to 2 VPN servers at once, which is incredible. All of these features and more in the name of 1, keeping you and your data safe and secure on the internet, and 2, helping you access the entirety of the internet without any geo-locks or blocks. Ain't nobody keeping you out. So fellas, use the link in the description and use code RABONATV, all one word, to get Surfshark VPN at 83% off plus 3 extra months for free. For free, I tell you. Plus, you'll also get 27 months of antivirus software for free as well. Thank you, Surfshark VPN, and stay safe out there on the internet. Wear a helmet. Okay, let's go. Lewandowski wanted to leave Bayern in 2018 as well, with the potential move to Real Madrid being mulled over, as Cristiano Ronaldo was, of course, leaving the club at that time.
He did push for a move, and back then it was resolved by him signing a new long-term contract that paid him lots of money. We now know that was around 23 million before tax, right? And that makes him one of the highest paid players at Bayern Munich, and that sort of papered over a lot of the cracks at the time and made him, and we now know that this is a big deal for him, made him feel appreciated. This is something that, when you look at his recent statements, is something that he's quite made clear that this is a lot about him feeling or wanting to be appreciated.
And many in the media would have you believe that this stems from how Bayern were courting other strikers, namely Erling Haaland. During what was Robert Lewandowski's record-breaking season from last term, where he smashed Gerd Muller's goal-scoring record with a stunning 41 goals in the Bundesliga in one season alone.
I do wonder if this is like a chicken and the egg thing. Was it Bayern Munich courting Lewandowski that Haaland, that made Lewandowski upset? Or was it Lewandowski being already upset and wanting out anyways. And this is just another great excuse for him to say, oh yeah, you guys are not appreciating me anymore. Like, I'm just gonna throw this into the long list of things that I'm already upset about and add it to it. Obviously, Bayern Munich had to do their homework and look at Haaland. I mean, every club on that level, whether you're Real Madrid, Manchester City, Manchester United, if you're one of those clubs, then you have to do your due diligence and try.
Of course.
If the player becomes available. He knows this. He's very much aware of that. So I just wonder if that's just him. He wanted to leave anyways, or wanted to try something new, or was upset with the contract proposal, because this is a big part of this, right? And said, okay, great. I'm just gonna add this to the long list of grievances I already have with Bayern Munich.
But that's just one of the things that have brought Lewandowski to this point with Bayern Munich. As Manuel mentioned, the man has a list of grievances with the club, which we will of course go over throughout this video, such as with all of the sort of changes that are going on, let's call it behind the scenes, even though Nagelsmann is very much playing in the scenes. Some of these new faces at the club, Kahn taking over, Nagelsmann, etc. Do you think that he has any grievances with how the club is being run lately?
Well, you do hear there's certain things that have come out lately, is that there seems to be a disconnect between Hasan Salihamidzic, Oliver Kahn, and the team. There used to be, there's a report in the Süddeutsche Zeitung, and it's interesting this is coming out now, because also there was the story of Corentin Tolisso, right, who was essentially just moved away from the club, without giving him a proper goodbye, without proper communication. You hear that now from the Robert Lewandowski camp as well. And the Süddeutsche Zeitung sort of used the Tolisso story as their lead to talk about some of this disconnect that's going on between the new leadership of Kahn and Salihamidzic and the squad. This stuff has been going on for longer than that, though. This disconnect between the board and a lot of the players, the loss of familiarity has been something that a lot of people have been complaining about. So you almost wonder if that is just a development the club has gone through by becoming the size of club they are now, or if this is something that's even gone deeper already, because this story isn't new.
Another thing that could be contributing to Lewandowski choosing now as the time for him to leave could be the fact that he is an elite athlete that likes to have a challenge, and he has conquered every single one in the Bundesliga. He has certainly won enough league titles. He's won the Pokal as well, and he has smashed and set the goals records, not just for Bayern, but for the Bundesliga itself. He's the only player in the history of the Bundesliga who has scored more goals than his team has conceded while he has been on the pitch. Not his team scoring more goals. Lewandowski himself has scored more goals, 312, than Bayern have conceded, 311, when the Polish striker is on the pitch. Shout out Opta for that one. And after 2020, he finally achieved what he wanted by winning the Champions League, which was one of his concerns in 2018, that he wouldn't win it at Bayern. At 30 years old at the time, he would have rightfully thought that his time at the top was coming to a close. That's the normal time where normal players start to tail off, lose some ability, rack up more injuries, and in general have a drop off in their level. But Lewandowski isn't a normal player, is he? He belongs to the same group as Benzema, Modric, Ronaldo, Ibra, etc. as these outliers who are still elite world-class players in their mid to late 30s. Messi is in that as well. I just was rattling off players and I forgot to mention him. Messi stands, please, spare me. I can hear the pitchfork sharpening already, but that was a bit of a tangent. But now that he has won the Champions League with Bayern, to add to his 3 Pokal wins with Bayern, 8 league titles, 1 UEFA Super Cup, and a Club World Cup. Add that to his 2 Footballer of the Year awards in Germany, 7 top scorer awards in Germany, his UEFA and FIFA awards for the best player of the year while at Bayern. I mean, there are no more mountains to conquer, right?
I mean, that's quite possible. And his statements today or yesterday in Polish television, depending, of course, on when you're releasing this, very much point towards this, right? That he said he doesn't feel any emotions anymore. And as Pavel pointed out in the podcast I did with him, he's gotten the one record with the 41 goals, beating Gerd Müller. And yeah, he could still stay for another year or so and break his overall goal scoring record too, which is 365 goals in 363 games, I think. And get this 366 goals and be the new record overall goal scorer in Bundesliga history. But Pavel said that from knowing him and speaking to him, that this one personal record, the one season record was more important to him. And he's gotten that.
I do wonder if he sometimes looks to someone like David Alaba, who left Bayern this past season for Real Madrid and now has gone to pastures anew, to a new challenge, and has conquered in another country. It's almost vindicating for some professionals. Not all, as some like to just stay in one place their whole career, and that's fine. But for many, they take a lot of satisfaction in conquering not just one country and league, but another one. Detractors will always point to Bayern's domination and say, well, anyone could score that many goals playing for Bayern in the Bundesliga. Could it be successful in other countries? And while I think that's a bit unfair, with 10 league titles in a row, Bayern's name has basically been written on the league trophy prior to the season even beginning. And so naturally, some players would want to take on a new challenge to not only prove to the public that their talent is legitimate and deserving of being mentioned with the best, but they can prove to themselves that they can be successful elsewhere. Now, of course, the reason for thinking that Lewandowski is bored in Germany, or at least is wanting a new challenge, it's one part speculation and another part comes down to some of his quotes from the last few days, which are indeed surprising, aren't they? In 2018, his wanting to leave Bayern was more hush-hush, and by that I mean just the typical tactics from want-away players. Either their agent speaks to the media, or they give information to the media to leak things for them, and their client about how they are unhappy or wanting a new challenge. This time, however, we've seen Lewandowski go full sicko mode during every press conference or interview since the season has ended. Every time he's been asked about it, he's been relatively unfiltered. So let's go over some of these quotes because they truly are spectacular. For neutrals like myself, at least. If you're a Bayern supporter, you would have hated seeing these quotes, but we're going to go through a few of them now anyhow, so sorry to you. So this all sort of started, I guess you could say, on May 30th while Lewandowski was with the Polish national team, and he said, quote, "As of today, my story at Bayern is over. After what happened in the last few months, I don't see any chance to continue my career at the club. I hope they don't make me stay just because they can. A transfer is the best solution for everyone." Okay, well, you can't be any clearer than that, right? Especially when you couple that with his agent, Pini Zahavi, who does not get along with Bayern, by the way. And how Pini said, quote, "Bayern is history for Lewandowski." That is an emphatic statement in itself. I mean, can you imagine being Bayern in a moment like this? Your top marksman and his agent are basically saying, "We don't want anything to do with you." Well, Salihamidzic had previously said that Robert has a contract and that he will have to honor it, which is fair to say, but you have to also acknowledge that contracts have never stopped clubs from selling a player when they don't want to leave. But that's the way the world works. Whoever pays your salary has more of a say than you do, ultimately, and unfortunately. Anyway, on June 7th, 2 days ago, Lewandowski spoke once again, this time to Onet Sport, a Polish channel, and Lewandowski once again didn't hold back or try to be cryptic with his response. As he said, quote, "The only thing I want is to leave Bayern. Loyalty and respect are more important than work. The best thing is to find a solution together. Something has died in me. I want to leave Bayern to find more excitement in my life." Oh, he went on saying, quote, "I think it's better for Bayern to invest the money they can get from me than to keep me until the end of my contract. I want this situation to end. The emotions have to cool down. I want to speak calmly, not through the media. Bayern and I are not enemies." Okay, cooling the guns a little bit. But then again, when he was asked about how Bayern do indeed have the power to stop him from leaving, he also said, quote, "What for? What kind of player will then want to come to Bayern knowing that something like this could happen to them? Where are the loyalty and respect then? I have always been ready. I have spent 8 beautiful years here. I have met so many wonderful people, and I would like it to stay that way in my head." How are Bayern taking this? I mean, are they embarrassed or feel disrespected? Or is there any coming back from this? Let's say if they can't sanction a move away?
Well, that's a very interesting question because Uli Hoeneß, of course, said on the weekend that players make those comments all the time, and at the end of the day, a contract is a contract. The first set of comments were already quite damaging.
Yeah.
The second set, something's died inside of me, and this personal insult that he's feeling towards that. I mean, are you going to be able to integrate a player like that back into the squad?
No,
right?
I mean, when a player says that something's died inside of them and they need more emotion in their life and that they see the Bayern era as over, how do you sort of backtrack on that? And how does anyone see you as as being genuine following that point, whether you're a supporter or a staff member or what have you, right?
He did mention the supporters.
Okay.
Probably knowing that he might actually still have to play in the Allianz Arena. And he gave them all sorts of compliments. This isn't about the supporters. I've always played for the supporters, that kind of stuff. I'm paraphrasing here, of course. But that is I might have to face 75,000 of them at the next home game. I better say something nice.
Yeah. So that I at least have them on my side.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a tricky situation because the natural replacement for him would have been Erling Haaland. Right. And their pursuit of Sadio Mane, and I know he's not a one-for-one replacement. He's not going to be a one-for-one replacement, but he's going to be a player that could fill the hole in terms of the name that's going to leave, right? Lewandowski leaves. You're not going to get a number 9 of that pedigree. You're not going to get him. He's not available, you know.
It's Lewandowski.
It's Lewandowski. It's like, it's one of the best number 9s in the world. I mean, the only number 9 who I can think of who's better at the moment is Karim Benzema. And Benzema right now is the better number 9. But these things change like all the time, right? Yeah. And you're not going to get Karim Benzema, not after the season he had.
That's it. Lewandowski is the replacement for Lewandowski. And so failing signing him, the Mane signing would be seen more as a statement signing than a like-for-like replacement, of course. It is a bit shocking, isn't it, how all of this has gone down. Lewandowski is typically more reserved in the media, but as he gets older, as his time in the game gets more limited, he has to fight for what he wants. And you can't really begrudge him of that. Just as you can't begrudge Bayern of wanting to keep him and have him honor his contract. However, I can sympathize with Lewandowski for feeling that for all he has given to Bayern, they can at least give him this wish. And they'll get compensated for doing so. It's not like he would be leaving for free, but he would next summer. But what do you guys think of this situation? Are either side out of line? Do let me know, and thanks once again to Manuel for coming through and helping me out with this video. Always appreciated, my man. Beyond that, I'm Adrian. Subscribe if you know what's good for you. That's a threat, by the way. Make no mistake about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Be well.